Hi everybody, good morning. Today is 24th of October 22. I had a good fortune of working with unmanned surface vessels and autonomous underwater vehicles, the USVs and AUVs, a couple of years back. In our earlier discussions, we did discuss about the survey spread on board the survey vessels and vessel of opportunities, and also about geotechnical vessels. Moving ahead with this, now we will discuss some significant features about AUV survey spread and the things of consideration, as the USVs and AUVs are just vehicles which can carry payload of survey equipment and conduct a survey while navigating through either waypoints or remote wireless control. So these are the new quite interesting aspects of survey. Today we shall discuss about the 1 PPS, the 1 pulse per second synchronization signal, in particular relevance to the AUV's multi-beam surveys. To put it in perspective, time is rather crucial in hydrographic multi-beam surveys because each piece of data received from a device is immediately stored in the raw data files. In order to correlate it with data coming from other devices such as the inertial navigation system, the other sensors like motion, heading, position and sound velocity, we need to very accurately stamp the time the measurement was taken in each of these sensors. Basically here what we are doing is that we are trying to synchronize all piece of data with the universal time. As a preface, just for our understanding, probably you are aware of it, that the atomic clocks in the GPS satellites are monitored and compared to master clocks by the GPS operational control segment. The GPS time basically is steered to within 1 microsecond of universal time. GPS receivers provide with a 1 pulse per second output signal. This pulse normally is the rising edge that is aligned with the GPS second and is used to discipline the local clocks to maintain synchronization with the universal time. The interesting point to note here is that there is a time difference or offsets in different GPS receivers that we use. The standard deviation of these offsets provide a measure of the pulse stability or jitter. Various GPS receivers may have different pulse length. Just for example, a star pack has a pulse length of 1 millisecond while a CPath pulse length is 10 milliseconds. Now, after having some understanding of the background and the preface, let's discuss about ZDA. A GPS device sends various strings with UTC time information in many of its strings. As we are aware, NME is just an acronym for National Marine Electronic Association, and the protocol that we currently mostly use is the 0183, and the ZDA is basically a time string. The main difference between the ZDA and other string containing time information is that most of the other strings only start scrolling after we have a GPS location, while the ZDA is sent as soon as the time is received from the satellite. Now, the basic question which most of us are likely aware is that why do we need a GPS time in first place when all of our systems have got their own time? Well, the GPS devices are able to calculate the current date and time using the GPS satellites and not the computer's own clock, thus making it very useful for time synchronization. To conclude, for timestamping, NMA ZDA string is the most pertinent. It sends the timestamp along with the day, month, year, local zone number, and local zone minutes. For a little better understanding of the NMA ZDA string, let's elaborate it a little further. An image ZDA message begin with a dollar sign followed by a talker ID such as the GP, which basically is GPS, and a message ID code, which in this case is the ZDA signal itself. It ends with a carriage return and line feed. To my knowledge, these devices use a specific trigger point on when they send the sentence with a .001 timestamp. May an anime string confuse you with the null fields? Null fields are basically the empty fields that are included if no data is available for that particular field. These fields are usually reserved for data that is transmitted on periodic or irregular basis. Now, while we are talking about the time string NME ZDA, it is very pertinent to note that PPS signal does not specify the time, but merely the start of a second. Now, here the other interesting thing is the baud rate. We shall discuss about it more in our subsequent discussions. I hope this short discussion was interesting, a bit informative too. Bye bye, take care, we'll see you around.